Hey guys, today I am going over your Tuesday math warm up. Your math warm up can be found in the math warm up slides from the landing page that was shared with you. You also have a Google Doc where you are filling in your answers for your math warm up. Today you are given a triangle and it shows the different angle measurements of the triangle, and it says to describe what kind of triangle it is, and you have to explain your thinking of how you know. Now, last week with your polygon slides, we learned a little bit more information about triangles, and we can describe triangles in two different ways. First, we can describe triangles by the type of sides that they have. So there's three different types of triangles when you're looking at the types of sides that they have. First, there are equilateral triangles, and when you hear the word equilateral, the beginning of equilateral sounds like the word equal. So when you hear equilateral, equal, it has three equal sides, or three sides that have the same exact length. So you could pretend that this triangle right here, which I've used these lines to show that each of these sides is the same length. Each of these might be 3 inches long. Okay, that's what equilateral means. Next, we have isosceles triangles. And isosceles triangles have two equal sides. So you can see I have two sides right here with those markings to show that they're equal. They have the same length. My trick to remembering that isosceles has those two equal sides is I see that isosceles has these two S's right here in the beginning of the word. So two S's, two sides that are the same is my trick. So two S's, two sides that are the same. Our last type of triangle when we're looking at the sides is scalene. And a scalene triangle has three sides that have all different measurements. So I know this isn't exact, but this triangle could have side lengths of 3 inches, 4 inches, and 5 inches. They're all different. Okay. The next way that we can look at describing what type of triangle we have is to look at the angle measurements. An angle is where two sides of a triangle meet, and it is that angle measurement in between. Okay, so the first type of triangle that we have when we're looking at angle measurements is an acute angle. And my trick to remembering what type of triangle is acute is I say, oh, that's such a cute little triangle, because all of its angle measurements are less than 90 degrees. So it's very tiny angle measurements. So 89 degrees or less for all three angles. The next type of triangle when we're looking at angles is a right triangle. And I always do this motion for a right triangle because a right triangle has a straight up and down side and a straight left to right side, and it can create a perfect square in the corner that is 90 degrees. So there's only going to be one angle that's 90 degrees when you're looking at a right triangle. I always go like this because you can see right here it looks like making that same shape in the right triangle. Our last type of triangle when looking at angle measurements is an obtuse triangle. An obtuse triangle has one angle measurement that is greater than 90 degrees. So you'll see usually quite a large angle. in an obtuse triangle. Sorry. So we have to look at the triangle on your warm-up. And one of the first things that I noticed is that we don't have any side length measurements for your triangle. But I do know that if a triangle had equal sides all around, that all three of your angle measurements would be the same. And I'm going to do my best to redraw this triangle on my whiteboard for you. It's not going to be perfect, but that is okay. All right, so here is our triangle. We have points A, B, and C, and I can see that all of my angle measurements are labeled. So I have a 45-degree angle, a 25-degree angle, and a 110-degree angle. Right away, I know this is not a right triangle because I do not have that square angle, that 90-degree angle. So I can take that off as a option. My only other two options when describing my triangle using angles is acute or obtuse. Acute means all of my angle measurements are less than 90 degrees. Obtuse means I have an angle measurement that is greater than 90 degrees. So let's look at those angle measurements again. I have 25, well, that's less than 90. 45 degrees, that's less than 90. And then I have 110 degrees as an angle measurement. That is not acute. 110 degrees is greater than that 90 degrees, so this has to be an obtuse triangle. Now, when I'm looking at my triangle, and I think back to my side length measurements when talking about describing a triangle and having an equilateral, a scalene, or an isosceles triangle. Equilateral triangles have three sides that are the same length, and if all three sides of my triangle were the same, all three of my angle measurements would be the same, but I don't have that. So this can't be an equilateral triangle. When I have an isosceles triangle, I see those two S's, so two side lengths have to be the same. And if two side lengths were the same, well, then two of those angle measurements should be the same. But I don't have two angles that are the same, so this can't be an isosceles triangle. But because all three of my angles are different, that's like scaling. That has to be scaling. All three of my side lengths must be different for me to have those three different angle measurements. So that is my reasoning about why this must be an obtuse triangle, because it has that angle measurement that's over 90 degrees, and why I think it's a scalene triangle too, even though I don't have the lengths of my triangle labeled. If you guys have any more questions about types of triangles, feel free to comment or send me an email. All right, best of luck with your warm-up, guys.